Hi, you guys. My name is Jessica Peterson, and I'm the owner of the on-demand platform Pilates by Just P Fit. Today, I'm going to lead you on a 15-minute routine through flexion and extension on the Wunda Chair. All right, you guys, I'm going to lead you through a 15-minute workout on the Wunda Chair. Now, for setup, you want 2 light springs on your pedal. You don't want it too heavy, but it is going to be supportive, leading us through some extension work, okay? Lots of flexion and extension on the chair today. We're going to circle the chair. So you want your handlebars off, preferably. If they don't come off, that's all right. You'll be able to work around them. Okay? Join me on your stomach. You're going to come onto the chair. Hands are going to come to the pedal. Okay? And I want you to scoot forward so that your belly button is at the very edge of the chair. All right? Once you're there, hands are on the pedal, shoulder width apart, and I want you to open up your legs into a shallow V. Go ahead and point your toes. Arms are long, okay, and in general, your shoulders are over your wrists, okay? I don't want you to grip the pedal. I want you to leave your fingers nice and long, all right? Now, the reason our legs are separated is so that that sacrum has a place to melt when we find extension and hopefully alleviate any sort of pinching sensation that might be there. All right, now you're gonna narrow your ribs. Think about drawing your belly button up and in, broaden your collarbone. You are one long line. So I want you to make sure that your head is not hanging, okay, that the back of your neck is nice and long. All right, right from here, we're gonna breathe and lift into extension. So on your inhale, you're gonna allow the pedal to rise, let the sternum lift, open that collarbone and gently look up. Exhale, send the pedal back down. Find that nice long line through the spine, okay? Inhale, let the sternum rise, let the pedal lift. Exhale, send the pedal back down. Find that nice long body. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good, nice and slow to start. Last one. Inhale, let that sternum pick up. Exhale, come back to that nice long line and hold right there. Now your right hand is going to stay on the pedal just as it is, but your left hand, we're going to bring it to the front edge of that pedal. Pinky finger to the pedal, thumb facing forward. All right, so your palm is in. We're going to find a little rotation with this extension. So on your inhale, you're going to allow the sternum to pick up, but that left arm is also going to travel up and overhead. And I want you to follow it with your eyes as it comes back around to the top of your hamstring. Okay, exhale, bring that arm back forward all the way to the edge of the pedal, and pedal comes down. Okay, let's do that again. Same thing, engage the core, broaden the collarbone. Inhale, sternum rises, left arm travels up and around. We follow it with our eyes, getting that little bit of rotation. Exhale, bring it around to the front of the pedal, lengthen all the way out. Again, engage that core, draw that belly button up and back. Good, 2 more. Inhale, left arm up and around. Good, exhale, bring it all the way forward. Okay, 1 more time. Inhale, pubic bone presses into the chair. We get that little bit of extension and rotation. Good, bring it all the way back around, find that long body, and put that left hand back on the pedal. Reset everything. Legs are still the same, toes are pointed. I want you to think about those inner thighs, lengthening right out the big toes. Pubic bone is pressing into the chair, ribs are wrapping. Let's do the same thing with the right hand. So left hand stays on the pedal, right pinky finger to the edge of the chair, palm is in. Here we go. Inhale, sternum lifts, right arm travels up and around to the top of the hamstring. Exhale, bring it around to the front of the chair and lengthen that body. Okay, now you may notice a little bit of a difference from side to side. That's normal. We're not perfectly symmetrical. Just take note of it. Notice where there might be a little less mobility, maybe a little bit more. Good, 2 more. Inhale, right bicep just grazes past that ear. We're finding big range of motion. We're following that arm. And then we're coming back around to the front edge of the pedal. Good. Nice long body. Last one. Inhale. Up and around. Exhale. Come all the way to that nice long line. Right hand comes onto the pedal. And now we're going to roll onto our right side. So, a little bit of maneuvering. Right hand stays on the pedal. You're going to roll onto your right side, and I want you to scoot forward, okay, so that you are pretty close to the side of the chair, okay? I want that front hip bone right at the very, maybe an inch or two from the edge, okay? Your right hand is at the pedal, all the way over to that left side. All right, now we're gonna find a nice long line here too. So left hand is gonna come behind your head, your legs are zipped up, toes are pointed, and you wanna have lots of space behind you because we're gonna roll into an oblique oriented V up. All right, but we're gonna start with a little side flexion to get set up here. So lengthening out both sides of your waistline, think about the crown of the head, lengthening away from the big toes. Okay, right arm is long, but that elbow is not locked out. You have a little bit of breath in that elbow. Okay, from here, we're gonna find some side flexion. All right, so on your inhale, you're gonna allow the pedal to lift and allow that left side to curl. Good, holding right there. On your inhale, you're gonna lengthen back out to that nice long line and take the time to lengthen out both sides of the waistline. Okay, you're on the pinnacle of that right hip. We're balancing right there. That's very important. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower back down. Now, it's important not to lift too far because we don't want to roll onto our glute med, onto that side booty right there. We want to stay on the pinnacle of that hip with this curl. Good. And lengthen back out. Good. We're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to move on. We're going to level it up a little bit. Curl, inhale. Exhale, lengthen back out. Hold. Now, instead of finding that curl, we're going to allow the pedal to lift, but we're going to shift onto our right glute med, to that side booty. Legs will lift. Keep your right hand on the pedal, and you're going to reach that left arm for those toes, okay? So a little V up, but oblique oriented. So you're gonna think about that right waistline. We're gonna lengthen all the way back to the pinnacle of the hip, lengthening the right arm so that pedal comes down, left hand comes back behind the head, and we're nice and long. Lengthen out both sides of the waistline. Take that time. Okay, good. Same thing. Let the pedal rise. Roll onto that right glute med. Good. Strong core. The psoas helps lift those legs, reach, balance, and then we're going to lengthen all the way back to that side lying position. Okay, so take your time here. This is quite challenging, especially if you can't see yourself, right? I like to tell my clients, if you can videotape yourself in these awkward positions to see your alignment, fantastic. That really helps from time to time to just take our practice to the next level. Good. Lengthen into that long body. You've got 3 more right here, okay? I'm giving you time to figure it out, right? The right glute med is on the chair, but the left sitting bone, that left glute is just hovering over the chair, okay? And then we lengthen back out. Good. Taking your time. Find length on both sides of the waistline. 2 more, okay? Now maybe as you roll, right, you might be creeping to one side of the chair. Don't be afraid to reset. Okay, don't be afraid to take that time. Roll back onto that right side. Lengthen out. This is your last one. We're just going to hold this one a little bit longer. Okay, rolling onto that right glute med, lifting with that core strength, holding for 6, for 5, for 4. We're light on that pedal. For 3, for 2. Roll all the way back to your side lying position to then come up out of it. Face the rear. Okay, so you're going to turn to face the rear. Now, I want you to make sure you have about 3 inches behind those sitting bones. Okay, we're going to lift our knees towards our chest. So go ahead and hold on to the sides of the chair to get there. Once you're balancing between your sitting bones and your tailbone, so that teaser position, we're going to bring the knees towards the chest. And I want you to hold on to your shins. Point your toes, legs are zipped up. All right, shoulders away from your ears. You want to think about your shoulder blades hugging your ribs. All right, my arms are strong, so my collarbone's nice and broad. My elbows are reaching out to the side, so I have a strong box holding my legs in. Now, we're going to curl into our legs just a little bit more. We're going to find that C curve. So on your exhale, you're going to nod your chin and allow the center of the spine, the thoracic spine, to pull back. Okay, tailbone is curling under. Now, from this tight flexion curl, we're going to lengthen out to teaser. So on your inhale, you're going to reach your legs long. I would love for your arms to become parallel with your legs. You are balancing on that space between your tailbone and your sitting bones. Nice and strong. Now you can always bend your knees if you'd rather. Okay, you can also put your hands on your chair for a little extra support. From here, we're going to curl, exhale, rounding into that C curve and pulling the knees towards our nose. Okay, strong arms, just like you would for rolling like a ball. Okay, inhale, lengthen out to teaser. Your teaser may be different than my teaser. Knees may be bent, hands may be on the chair. That is absolutely okay. All right, exhale, nod the chin, round the spine, draw the knees towards your nose, curl. Good, one more time. Inhale, lengthen out to teaser, and hold this one just a little bit longer for me for 6. For 5, last 4, and 3, last 2. Curl back into your ball and release. You're going to roll onto your left side. Okay, here we go. So again, towards the side of the chair as much as you can be, comfortably without losing balance. Okay, left hand is at the right edge of the pedal. All right, your legs are long and zipped up like a pencil. Right arm is coming behind the head for that half airplane position. So again, we're on the pinnacle of the left hip, and you're finding as much length on both sides of the waistline as possible. All right, hold right here. We're going to start with that side flexion first. All right, so on your inhale, you're going to allow the crown of the head to lift up and out of the spine as you find a little side flexion. The pedal comes up. And exhale, come back to that long body. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not curling so much that you roll onto your glute med. Okay, I want you to stay on the pinnacle of that hip and exhale, lengthen back out. 2 more before we take this into that oblique-oriented V-up. Curl, inhale. Maybe the right hand tractions the skull out of the spine a little bit, just a little added length, right? Exhale, come back to that nice long line. One more time, okay, one more time. And again, this is a great one to videotape yourself doing, okay, or videotape, record, lengthen back out, because it's really hard to feel the body in space like this, okay? Holding in that nice long line. Now, instead of that curl, we're gonna allow the roll to happen. So as the pedal rises, you're gonna roll onto your left glute med. The strength of your core is gonna pull those legs up, and you're gonna reach that right hand for those toes. Make sure you got space on the side, okay? You can always put your right hand there just for a little extra security. And then we're going to roll all the way back onto the pinnacle of that hip, letting the pedal come down, pressing the pedal down through that left arm, lengthening out the waistline. Good. Find your length before you go. Okay, rolling onto that left glute med. Good. Psoas pulls those legs up nice and strong. We reach, and then we come all the way back to the pinnacle of that left hip. Find it and hold it. Take your time to get there. It's not a rush, okay? And you're dealing with quite a bit of weight on that pedal as well, okay? Here we go. Rolling onto that left glute med, lifting. I'm light with that left hand on the pedal. Good, and then I lengthen back out. You have 3 more right here. Like I said, I like to give you time on these more complicated moves to find it, to feel it. Okay, to find that mind and body connection, roll and lift, move with confidence, right? At this point, you're 4 reps in. We have 2 more to go. You know what you're doing. The body is starting to feel it, okay? Hold it. Find that long line. Here we go. Roll and reach. Good, and then come all the way back to that nice lengthened position. I'm getting close to the edge of the chair. I can feel it. Okay, hold. Here we go. Last one. Roll and reach. And I want you to just hold this one. Hold and breathe for 6. For 5, we're going to face forward in 4. Last 3. Last 2. Roll all the way back to your side. Find that first. And then come all the way up. Swing your legs around to the pedal. Look at that little transition right there. Okay, feet, hips width apart. Now, you want the balls of your feet connected to that pedal. Okay, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe. Sitting right on the tips of your sitting bones, the bottom of that pelvis. Arms are gonna come up and those biceps are gonna surround your ears, okay? Keeping the legs in parallel, we're gonna breathe into the pedal, nice and tall. On your inhale, your diaphragm will drop, your legs will press the pedal down, but it's coming from that initiation through the breath, okay? Now, without rolling forward on your sitting bones, I want you to stay on the pinnacle of your sitting bones. You're gonna exhale as your knees come up and you round through the thoracic spine and the cervical spine. You're gonna karate chop the edge of that chair. So your wrists or the edges of your hand are gonna come to the front of the chair. Inhale, pedal goes down, arms come up. We sit tall. Good. Exhale, nod your chin round your spine. You have 2 more of these and that's it. Inhale, lengthen and hold. Exhale, round and curl. Good, last one. Inhale. Exhale, round and curl. Good, come all the way back up for me. Bring your palms to prayer and chest center. Guys, you're all done. That was beautifully, beautifully executed. All right, short and sweet, but definitely not easy. That was a very challenging flow on the Wunda Chair. Thank you for watching this balanced body video with me. I can't wait to see you next time.